All right, Pete, why don't you tell us about Cam Collier?
Who's Cam Collier, you ask?
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of decisions being made, right? And what's right for people and their children. Son of former Major League Lou Collier, he's an infielder from Austell, Georgia, Mount Paran Christian High School, who was committed to go to Louisville. The 17-year-old was projected to go top 3 in the 2023 draft, but decided to skip on remaining high school career and reclassify for the 2022 MLB Draft. And he's now ranked number 20 in the upcoming draft. Can I stop myself there and ask, why would you do that if you're going to go 3? Now you're going to go less than 3 because he feels like he's going to do enough to lift his stock between now and the time the draft comes around?
Yeah, and if everything goes according to, I'm sure what his plan is, he's going to prolong his MLB career by a year. You're basically just adding a year.
Love that. This means he has been playing junior college at Chipola College after leaving high school. So far, his stats: he had 4 home runs in his first 10 JUCO games. Feels like he can handle that level pretty well. He's now, after 21 games, hitting .379 with 3 doubles, 5 home runs, 17 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, and a 1.128 OPS. He's also made 3 relief appearances. Now, how do you reclassify, right? How can you reclassify before we get into any further this? High schoolers elect to take their GED. Is that the high school equivalency test?
Yeah, you can take like get your GED and like graduate from high school early and like still get it's like a similar thing as getting your diploma in high school. I don't know if it's the same diploma or something different, but yeah, you hear of people like getting their GED.
Just to prove that you did enough to learn what high school was there to teach you?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And then you can reclassify for the draft. I don't know. How do you feel about this? It worked for Harper, obviously.
I think he has people telling him to do this. If his dad's a former major leaguer, I mean, they probably know exactly what they're doing, but
right.
Yeah, I mean,
that was the point I wrote on the slide, is like, ask any high schooler, hey, do you want to stop going to school and just play baseball? I mean, what are they going to know?
So when I read this, right, the first thing that came to my mind was like, this probably isn't good for the kid. But in Australia, we have the apprenticeship program. So kids can leave school after year 9 and go do an apprenticeship.
So is it like trade school here?
It's like, I guess, like trade school, yeah. But the amount of people that I know did that, hundreds. Mm-hmm. I know hundreds of people that decided to leave high school early because they knew at that age that high school was never going to be for them. They're not going to become a doctor or a lawyer. They're going to be a tradie, and they left high school, and that's what they decided to do. So if he feels like that he's going to be a baseball player, then go ahead, man. That's what I think. Now, if it doesn't work out, you're behind, but you've also got your high school equivalency test. So where you would have been, you're just a couple of years behind, I guess.
And we saw this done with Bryce Harper.
Correct.
Bryce Harper did the same thing. So in 2009, Bryce Harper was a sophomore. He was only cover of Sports Illustrated compared to LeBron James. In October, he earned his GED. So he's eligible for the June of 2010 draft. And for the 2010 college season, he enrolled at the College of Southern Nevada, where his brother was pitching there. Bryce mainly played catcher.
Wow.
So he would catch his brother, but in 66 games, he hit .443 with 31 home runs, 98 RBI, a 1.5 OPS. The 31 home runs broke the school's prior record of 12. And then the team lost in the National Junior College World Series after Bryce was for arguing a strike call. He won the Golden Spikes Award for being the best college player in the country. That's the award that our guy Kevin Kopps just won last season. But when you go to JUCO, Pete, you can be drafted. Like it's when you go
That's
to JUCO,
what I was, right.
Yeah. So if you enroll in a 4-year university, you have to wait until 3 years. But if you go to a JUCO, I believe you can be drafted after your first year out of JUCO. So you see a lot of guys go the JUCO route to enable them to be drafted. And Bryce Harper obviously has had a very impressive career, and he took the same path. So that's a good example to compare him to. Another example would be Albert Pujols. He graduated a semester early in December of 1998 from his Kansas City area high school. And he ended up going to community college, Maple Woods Community College. They gave him a scholarship for the next semester before the draft. He hit a grand slam, turned an unassisted triple play in the first game of his only college season. Overall, in 56 games, he hit 466 with 18 doubles, 5 triples, 22 home runs, and 76 RBI in 56
So
games.
those numbers feel a little different to 379, 5 home runs. I know it's only 21 games, but I feel like Harper was out of this world. That's why he was Harper, I guess, right?
The point of that is just that we've seen it done.
I've never seen those numbers. I've never seen those numbers before. I didn't realize that he was that good.
And I don't know. So I wonder if the College of Southern Nevada, is that considered to be a JUCO? Okay. Because like where I'm like San Jack is a big school in Texas, a big baseball program, and it's a JUCO. And that's like, you'll see a lot of guys in high school, like the top guys at Texas high schools will go to JUCO, to San Jack, so they can just be drafted immediately.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that graduate high school, then go to JUCO so they can leave earlier than 3 years. Pujols and Harper are 2 examples of people that left high school before their supposed graduation date in order to go to a JUCO earlier than after graduation.
So he was in JUCO as a 17-year-old. Why couldn't he just get drafted out of high school?
Well, it's not leaving early to go play JUCO. It's leaving early to get out. So Harper got his GED in October. He couldn't possibly have been drafted till the following June. So in the meantime, to stay fit, he went and played junior college baseball just because. It's not like he had to. Pujols is the same way. He opted to graduate in December, and rather than sitting around and doing nothing, he went and played JUCO for half of a year before getting drafted. You figure that the pitching is probably better there than in anywhere else you're going to get in high school.
Yeah,
so then hopefully you can get through the minors faster.
Yep. Develop quicker for that last 6 months before.
Very interesting. I'm so lost right now.
Yeah, it's a confusing situation that I just don't, the value that you get from going to JUCO as opposed to signing at a high school, I don't understand the difference. So I'm just going to close my mouth.
I agree for the Pujols example. Probably not much different. He just did it for the sake of the Harper is.
Where would Harper have been drafted if he just stayed in high school and finished high school?
A year later, first overall, rather than a year earlier.
Got it.
So Cam Collier and Bryce Harper, they're the same.
Both getting a chance to get into the game earlier, maximize your earning potential.
You can be early on the 1/1 Topps 1952 Mickey Mantle NFT auction on OpenSea because it's live now. We've been telling you about this for a few weeks. If you want to own your own piece of sports history, the auction on OpenSea is live now. Like I said, it's a first of its kind, 1/1 Topps 1952 Mickey Mantle NFT. You can place your bid at OpenSea.io/the Topps company. And the auction is going to be live for 3 days, beginning today, ending at 1 p.m. on March 4th. Any bid in the last 10 minutes of the auction will extend the auction by an additional 10 minutes. It's a 1/1 NFT. It's a stunning recreation of the classic Topps baseball card, complete with video, imagery, and memorabilia that showcase and celebrate Mickey Mantle's legacy. This incredible 1/1 NFT features one of the most iconic and prized baseball cards ever produced. You can place your bid on OpenSea.io. The speculation for this auction is that this 1/1 Mickey Mantle NFT could be the highest selling sports NFT of all time. You can go ahead and bid. I am so curious to see what this ends up going for. And very interested to see when it actually ends, if any bid placed in the last 10 minutes of the auction extends it by an additional 10 minutes.
That's a good rule.
Yes, go to OpenSea.io/the Topps company. The auction is now live. We've been telling you about it for weeks. So first of its kind, 1/1 Topps 1952 Mickey Mantle NFT. Peter.
Yes.
Aussie Lingo.
Siggy. Actually, there's 2 words that mean the same thing. Durry, Siggy.
Bicycle.
Okay.
I'm guessing cigarette.
You are correct. You are 100% correct, Maddie Mass. Well done, Maddie Mass.
If you just said the second word, would never have gotten it. But Siggy put those pieces together.
I was at least close.
I forgot what you said. I was so excited by Maddie's guess.
Bicycle.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Siggy cigarette.
In the world of Kelsey Wingert, you were close. You were definitely close.
Well, guys, what a journey we've been on the past 83 days of the lockout.
I don't know how I'm going to feel when I see you guys next week.
Yeah. Oh,
Honestly.
we have no clue what we're in for, but we'll have a lot to discuss.
Yeah, that's for sure. And if we need to do an emergency pod somewhere during maybe Wednesday, then maybe we do it.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for diving into college baseball with us.
Yes. A little bit.
Y'all, let's get this lockout ended. Let's get our game back. We love y'all. Farm on, farm often. We will see you next Wednesday.
Let us on the Menjay.
Listen to the full episode wherever you consume your podcasts or by clicking the link on the screen now.